Yes, guys, some transfer news already in the transfer window. We have signed Matthew Pennington from Everton for £200,000. Great little young centre-back. 13 heading, 13 marking, 12 tackling, 3 current ability and 3.5 star potential ability. So he does have growth there. And also we have signed George Moncur is back in the squad, back in the team. We had him on loan for the first season in League One. Played really well for me, 20 games, 1 goal, 2 assists, 6.81. Hasn't really been getting any games for Barnsley, so I've snapped him up for £100,000. He's already worth £175,000. Going to be back up. He can play in the midfield and also slightly forward as well behind the striker. And looking fairly decent. 2.5 star current ability, but 3 star potential ability, so he still has a little bit of growth there as well. So they are 2 transfers already in for the boys. Coming up today, 4 game highlights and any transfer window news as well. Roll the titles. No messing about today, boys. We're going to get straight into the game against Swansea at the Liberty Stadium. This is going to be a really big test of our new tactic. So we're going to go with Jonathan Flatt in goal, Kavanagh, Baldwin, Oxford, Williams in the back, De Silva Lopez as the central midfielder. On defend, we're going to go Forrester in the attacking playmaker role, and we're going to go for Jermaine Anderson as the box-to-box. Clayton on the left, he's been in really good form since he's come into the side, and Maddison on the right, and then Cummings up front. 17 goals in 25 games for Jason Cummings. Amazing performance. So yeah, as I said, going to be a really big test for us today. We've got Swansea away. I think we've also got Bournemouth away as well in the FA Cup, and then 2 home ties between Fulham and Bristol City as well. So going to be a really big test for us. 4 games in quite a short space of time. So let's just make sure we get a fairly decent result against Swansea today. Apparently the bookies can't decide between us. It's going to be draw written all over it, but then they also have got Swansea as even favourites, just 11-5. Fabianski and Baldwin are the key men for both teams. As I said, they've still got a really strong squad. Swansea have. They've kept hold of quite a few of their big players. So Ayew's on the right, Sigurdsson's still there. They've even brought in people like Chalobah. On the bench, Liam Britton, and Wayne Routledge. So still got a lot of good players there for Swansea. And I'm just going to see if we can carry on from where we've left off. But we are a minute in now, so first real highlight. Launching it up to Hooper. Hooper now going to take on Baldwin. Does so. Takes a shot and Flatt makes a great save there. And Hooper, another good save. Great double save there from Jonathan Flatt. Number 16 got it back in. Tabanu got it back into Gary Hooper. And Flatt made a really quick, reactive double save. So they've launched it forward, but Anderson should be there just to pick that ball up. And he's tried to play in Maddison. Quite a long, lofty ball there, but hasn't worked. And Hooper now is through, but Reece Oxford does well. Hooper, he's made it 1-0 to Swansea. I said this was going to be a big test for our tactic, and it seems to be that way. They seem to just be launching it long to Gary Hooper. So I'm not quite sure how we combat that. But Hooper now, as you can see here, Oxford I thought did really well trying to shrug him off the ball, but Hooper had a bit too much strength of Flatt. Just flapped it really, to be fair. So 1-0 to the Swans. As I said, we haven't really grown into it. Maddison with a corner, launching it in, but Sigurdsson gets it clear. Williams, poor touch, tries to get it back in. Cummings, he makes it 1-1. Cummings is there. He's on form. He's on absolute fire at the minute. 18th goal of the season. Poor defensive work there from Swansea. Here we go. Sigurdsson launches it out to Williams. He crosses it back in. Hits Fernandez, and Cummings is just there just to shoot into the top right hand corner. Fabianski did get close to it, but not close enough, and he's also suffered a stubbed finger there as well. Coming into half time, so I might just tinker with some of the midfielder roles and just see if we can put a little bit more purpose going forward. That hasn't gone well. Thanks for that, boys. Right, let's see if we can get really assertive here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to swap Forrester around for Leo. Leo's got a little bit more energy going forward, and Forrester can dictate the play from the back. First 10 minutes of the half have absolutely flown by. Nothing really happening at all in this game. Coming into the last 15 minutes, I am going to knock it down to standard. Swansea here with some really good possession play on that left hand side. Taylor, Sigurdsson and Tabanu. Now they've forced it up to Hooper. Hooper high wide and not very handsome, that shot. Trying to do it all by himself, not using his players around him. As I said, it's been an average game. As you can see here, 6.84 from Swansea and a 6.9 from the boys. Sigurdsson now, 2-1. That was inevitable. Gylfi Sigurdsson, free kick around that area. It's always going to go in. Swansea now 2-1 up. Sigurdsson, that's a great free kick by Gylfi. I'm not going to get mad. I love Gylfi as a player on this game. If you can pick him up, he's a brilliant addition. But that's top corner, top bins. No one's going to get that. No one's going to save that at all. Jonathan Flatt had no chance. Let's see if we can come back from this now. 85th minute. 5 minutes to go. Forrester all the way over to Jordan Williams. Williams into Moncur. Moncur through to Maddison. It's been very, very quiet this game, but they get it forward now to Hooper. But Chris Forrester's there to tackle him. Maddison over to Leo. Leo launched a great ball over to Williams. Williams tries to get that early ball in, but Shaq just on his heels there. Wasn't really expecting it. No anticipation there to get to the ball. And Fabianski is just going to take his time now. It's going to be the end of the highlights. End of the match. And that's it. Swansea 2, Peterborough United 1. One of the very few losses that we've had. I can't be disappointed. We're just unlucky today. One piece of absolute brilliance from Gylfi Sigurdsson, making the difference. 8 minutes from time, and after that, didn't really have any way back into the game. So let's move on to our next game, which is Fulham at home. So the second game against Fulham at home at London Road. This is the team we're going for. We're going to go flat in goal. Even though Luke McGee is back, he's still not 100%. I'm going to put him through some reserve games first just to raise that conditioning up. Kavanagh, Baldwin, Oxford and Hayden White on the right back, because it's a little bit more attacking, and I don't think Jordan Williams can play that way. De Silva Lopez and Jermaine Anderson in the middle, very young midfield there. Chris Forrester, having an injury for 4 to 5 weeks between games. Maddison, Gribbin and Clayton on the right wing, and then Cummings up top. Let's get straight into it. So 2 really tough games back to back. Swansea, who are 4th, and Fulham, who are 5th. So this would be a really big test for us, and see how good we actually are, or whether we're picking up really good points from people that are slightly lower down in the league than us. So opening highlight, nothing really happening. Over to Grimmer down this right hand side. Sean Cavanagh's out of position, but he gets back, great tackle, and then Leo's there again as well. Plays it up to Cummings. Cummings now has just got to take a little bit of time, but he's surrounded by defenders. Plays it back to Jermaine. Jermaine's going to try and force it in. And he does! Oh, Jermaine Anderson, what a goal. 1-0 to the Posh. Hits it from right about 20 yards out on the diagonal. Wasn't expecting it. He just pinged it top right-hand corner. Amazing effort by Jermaine Anderson. I thought he was going to try and play Clayton down this right-hand side. Here we go, Jermaine Anderson. I thought he was just going to try and play Clayton through, but he unleashes a shot. What a hit. Button got a hand to it, but Jermaine Anderson really showing his strength there. Fantastic effort by Jermaine. 1-0 to the Posh. Jermaine Anderson again. Cummings through to Clayton. Clayton, but Button's there. Keeps it at 1-0. 10 minutes left of the first half. White clears the ball up to Cummings. Cummings now got turned on the defender, but defender pushes it through to Wilson. Wilson to Akpom. Akpom makes it 1-0. Cummings being caught on the ball there by the defender. Launched it up to Wilson. Wilson, nice easy pass to Akpom. Here we go. Wilson to Akpom. Oxford and Baldwin were out of shape there completely. Flat had no chance, and Akpom makes it 1-1. Coming into the last 10 minutes of the half. Again, quite an even game really. I mean, we've had a few more shots, but there's nothing really big kind of different us between each other as teams. Back down to third now, the Posh. QPR and Norwich seem to be Norwich seems to be running away with the league. Let's see if we can get these boys G'd up a little bit. Cool. Second half starts now. So Norwich, a full kind of 4 points ahead of QPR and a full 5 points ahead of us, Swansea and Brentford, and 6 points ahead of Fulham. So in the Championship, it's quite a big gap. Hour gone. Still nothing really kind of happening in this game at all. Josebed with a free kick. Oxford gets up there. Great header by Reece Oxford. He's been a fantastic player for us, but Grimmer's passed it through to Akpom. Akpom pushes it through to Wilson. Oh, Wilson. How's he missed that? That was a open goal chance there. Maddison not really playing well again. He's gone through that little dippy patch that he went in the start of the season as well. Last 10 minutes. Let's see what we can do. But With Fulham being as high as they are, they're probably taking a draw, to be fair. Max Clayton picking up an injury now, but it's only a couple of minutes left to go. Fulham recycle the ball. Wilson now taking charge, but Hayden White with a great tackle, doing his defensive duties, even though he's a wing back on support. But Oxford makes a clanger there, but gets back and tackles Wilson. Really fun-filled end to the half, or to the game. Grimmer now to Kearney, and I think that was Jermaine Akpom. Akpom makes it 2-1 to Fulham in the dying minutes of the game. We're going to lose back-to-back games now. As I said, it'll be a big test going from Swansea to Fulham, and the two teams that are in and around us in the playoffs, they've beaten us, unfortunately. Akpom here swivels on a sixpence. It really started from Reece Oxford just giving away the ball, giving Jermaine Anderson more to do than he wanted, and that's it. 2-1 to Fulham. That's it. Fulham 2, Peterborough United 1 at London Road. Unlucky from the boys again. Just a split second of missed concentration, but now we have to raise our game again onto Bournemouth in the FA Cup 4th round. And another transfer in for Peterborough United. Lee Evans, free transfer, free agent. He left Wolves about, was it this year? Yeah, left Wolves this year. As you can see, his attributes are absolutely brilliant. He can play anywhere in the middle. Central midfielder, ball winning midfielder, box to box. All three of those duties we use, and some of the attributes are really, really good. 3.5 star ability at the minute, so really good. Only 23, so he should have some room to grow. And that's it. He is a player that is coming in to the posh. More transfer news, but this time it's on the way out. Michael Bostwick, because I brought a couple of midfielders in and another central defender in as well, which is the roles he can play. I've moved him out to Motherwell on loan. They're going to pay 30% of his wage, which is great. And there's also an optional future fee of £250,000 as well. So could be a good move for him and a good move for us. So Michael Bostwick is now out of the squad. Right, big game against Bournemouth at Vicarage Road. They must be having their ground redeveloped or have a new one built, because it is a fairly small ground for the Premier League. So Luke McGee is back in goal. He's back from his long-term injury. Going to push him straight into the team. Jordan Williams at right back. Baldwin and Pennington now in the middle, because Reece Oxford was only out for 3 or 4 days, but I'm not going to risk him. So Pennington makes his debut against Bournemouth. Sean Cameron at left back. Leo De Silva Lopez as a central midfielder. Anderson in the middle as the attacking playmaker, and Lee Evans makes his debut for the Posh as well as the box-to-box midfielder. Marcus Maddison on the right, Paul Taylor on the left, and Jason Cummings up top. We're going to go for White, Thompson, Teixeira, Moncur, Clayton, Gribbin and Fletcher all on the bench. As I said, big game for us this time. Let's see if we can come out good. So Bournemouth, who have they still got? They've still got Jordan Ibe, Stephen Cook, Burke in goal, Daniels, Gradle, Joshua King up front. They've still got Graben, Pugh, Ryan Fraser. So they've still got a lot of their team that is still playing today in the Premier League. Shouldn't really go in, but I'm going to go in hard on the two that are already kind of injured. And let's see what we can do. Any highlights, I'll bring them to you as soon as I can. Wow, 20 minutes gone. First 20 minutes, nothing's happened at all. This is the first real highlight that's popped up. Baldwin now picking up that loose clearance. Evans into Taylor on that left-hand side. Taylor now driving into the middle. Taylor, keep going. Oh, Burke. Good save from Burke. Good driving run from Paul Taylor. But we've actually had most of the game here. 4 shots, 3 on target. Bournemouth haven't really got going. Coming into the last minute of the half. Evans now launches the ball over. Tries to find Paul Taylor. Ibe does enough to clear it. Kavanagh now picks up that loose ball. But stumbles a little bit. But gets the ball back. Anderson now. Over to Leo. Leo back to Sean. Taylor now tries to find Anderson in that middle. Over to Evans. Evans through to Cummings. Cummings, he's done his man. Maddison. Could have unleashed a shot there, but he didn't. But Pennington's missed the ball. King. Joshua King's now through. And he's hit it high and wide. That was a great chance for Bournemouth to go from one end to the other, but not to be. 0-0. I'm going to bring it down to standard because I think they can do us on the counter. Take off the work the ball into the box because it hasn't really worked. Been unlucky so far. Let's carry on the way we're going. Good defensive work there by Leo and Jermaine. Leo now launching it forward. Going to find Taylor on this left-hand side. Overlap by Kavanagh. Kavanagh now going to swing it in. Cummings. Cummings makes it 1-0. Literally 45 seconds into the second half. And Jason Cummings has made it 1-0 to the Posh in the FA Cup 4th round. Brilliant, brilliant goal by the Posh. Taylor now, left-hand side, uses the overlap of Sean Kavanagh. Sean Kavanagh now going to whip it in. And there is Jason Cummings into the near post. Beats Borak in goal. 1-0 to the Posh. Lovely, lovely start to the second half. Leo now, great tackle, over to Jermaine, over to Cummings. Going to drive that forward. He's got the pace, he's got the power. Back to Anderson, keeping hold of the ball. Lovely play here by the boys. Over to Kavanagh. Kavanagh's going to whip it in again. Marcus Madison's hit the bar, but then the ball rebounded onto the back of Borak, and it's gone back into the goal. That's 2-0 to the Posh. Overlap here by Sean Kavanagh. He's got 2 assists now. Here we go, Leo. Great ball over to Sean. Whips it in. Marcus coming in from the right-hand side. Hits the post. Hits Borak. And then back into the goal. Madison makes it 2-0 to Peterborough United. Brilliant stuff from the boys. So that's all the midfielders taken off. They do a lot of running in this tactic, especially the box-to-box and the central midfielder. They all kind of do a lot of works. Newcastle absolutely hammering Tottenham 6-1. Dele Alli seeing a red card. So 6-1 to Newcastle. That's an amazing result. Luke McGee now passes it over to Kavanagh. Launches it up to Paul Taylor. Moncur now. Acres of space around him. Through to Taylor. Taylor pushes it over to Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams is going to whip it in. He does. Thompson on the edge. Through to Taylor. Taylor makes it 3-0 to the Posh. This is a Premier League side that we are beating at the minute. 3-0 away from home in the FA Cup 4th round. 10 minutes to go to the end of the match. But here we go. Williams pushes it through. It kind of hits Gribbin and Cummins all at once. But Thompson, great composure, passes it through to Taylor, and Taylor absolutely launched it into the top right hand corner there for the third goal. I don't really see Bournemouth coming back into this at all. Kavanagh now from that free kick on that left hand side. Taylor, Kavanagh playing really, really well down that left hand side. Got a really good connection, really good understanding. Gribbin now in that middle. But Gradle's taking the ball off him and then launching it forward. Borja Baston pushes it through to Pugh. Pugh on this left-hand side, but Jordan Williams does well to jockey him out. Sermon makes it 3-1 to the Posh. Great ball in. I thought Jordan Williams had done enough here on this right-hand side to jockey Pugh away. Here we go. So he's just jockeying him away. Probably could be a little bit tighter. Pugh gets the ball in though, and Sermon first time finished inside of the foot, nice and controlled. 3-1 to the boys. Coming into the last 20 seconds now of the game. Kavanagh and Taylor, I think, have been probably the best 2 players on the pitch. Really, really have showed a lot of class down that left hand side. Moncur, acres of space through to Cummins, and that's it. Peterborough United 3, Bournemouth 1, and we're into the 5th round of the FA Cup. That is an amazing achievement for the boys. Very, very special game for them. Sean Kavanagh rightly getting man of the match, 9.0. 2 assists, but he just had an amazing game. Paul Taylor, 8.1. They were probably my two favourites for player of the match, and it has come true. So next and last game is going to be Bristol City at home, and also the end of the transfer window as well. So before we get on to Bristol City and the last day of the transfer window, we have got the 5th round draw of the FA Cup. Let's see who we get. So teams are in here still are big names: Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Southampton, even Swansea from our league, West Brom, Watford. So a lot of smaller teams. I think Charlton are a small team. We're a small team. Oxford, probably the smallest team in the whole draw at the minute. So let's see who we get. So Chelsea are at home to West Brom or Norwich. Watford, Liverpool, Man United, Swansea, Oxford, Charlton, Palace or Southampton versus Huddersfield. So who have we got left? So Arsenal, Hull, Newcastle, Villa or Leicester. So we're going to go to a very big team. Even Villa and people like that are still big teams compared to Posh. Arsenal at home to Hull. Newcastle at home to Villa. So we're going to be Leicester at home. So we're going to get ex-Premier League champions Leicester at London Road in the 5th round of the FA Cup. It's another out this time for Peterborough United. James Wallace has gone to Burton on loan. He's not going to get into the team. There's an optional future fee there of £400,000. So if he does well at Burton, they might well pick that up for us as well, which is brilliant to see. So James Wallace out of the squad to Burton. Another out for Peterborough United. Shaq came to me and said he's not getting enough games. He wants to leave. So I've let him leave on loan to Leyton Orient. Going to pay 100% of his wage, but there's also a mandatory future fee of £500,000. So we should get that at the end of the season, which is always good to see. Let's see if we can get anybody back on loan, just to have a little bit of competition there in the front line as well. And this time it's an in for Peterborough United. I tried to get him last season, but I've got him this season. Connor Washington returns to the club on loan from QPR. He was an absolute star here when he was here in the 2013 to 2016. He's a goal scorer. He's a threat. He's a nuisance. Lots of stamina, lots of pace, lots of physical attributes. He's finishing 14, composure 11, decisions 11. All in all, for how I play, he'll be the perfect foil for Cummings and for Ashley Fletcher, and he just brings a little bit more quality to the front line as well. So Connor Washington is in at the club yet again. So this is the team for the final game against Bristol City today at London Road. We're going to go for Luke McGee in goal, Hayden White, Jack Baldwin and Matthew Pennington in the middle. I think Pennington had a really good game against Bournemouth, so he's keeping his place in the squad. Kavanagh at left back, De Silva, Lopez and Anderson in the middle, Madison, Gribbin and Clayton, and then Cummings up top. On the bench, Williams, Thompson, Anderson, Teixeira, Evans, Moncur and Connor Washington. So we find ourselves in 6th after 2 very poor games in the league against Fulham and Swansea, but 2 very tough games in the league as well. So let's see if we can bounce back with a win here against Bristol City. Gribbin now. Oh, it's a Gribbin special. He's done that 2 or 3 times for the Posh. Fantastic free kick by Callum. Top left-hand corner, gives that left foot. That left foot is an absolute wand at sometimes. Gribbin now, I say 20 yards out, and what a hit. Keeper absolutely no chance. Top right-hand corner for Callum. Brilliant goal from Gribbin. Other than that goal from Callum, not a lot has happened, to be brutally honest. So I'm going to fire him up. There's a few average performances going out there at the minute, so I'm just going to encourage them, see what we can get out of them. And this is a home game we should really be winning against Bristol City. Coming just after the hour mark, we've got a few tired players here. Central midfield and Madison on the left. Freeman now launching it forward. And is that Magnuson? Magnuson has made it 1-1 for Bristol City just after the hour mark. Great ball in from Luke Freeman. Magnuson heading it down, and I think Luke McGee could have done a little bit better there. So let's see this. Don't know what happened there, but Magnuson heading it down, and Luke McGee's got to be doing better there. He's just flopped at it. Nothing. He should have got a little bit on it at all, and that's ridiculous. Ridiculous goalkeeping from Luke McGee. But highlight straight after the goal. Clayton now on that right hand side, trying to cut in, which he does. Jermaine Anderson picks up the ball to Gribbin. Gribbin through to Cummings. Nice patient play through to Gribbin. Gribbin. Oh, but there was a foul from Marco Motta in the build up to that. It would have been a goal from Callum, but it's a penalty anyway. Jason Cummings stepping up to take the penalty. Literally a minute after conceding to Bristol City, we've got another chance to go 2-1 up. Cummings, and he puts it away. Brilliant penalty there from Jason Cummings. 20th goal of the season. Just what you need when you're trying to A, stay up, and B, kind of potentially go for a playoff place. Someone to score 20 goals a season. Cummings now. This is going to be a nice simple penalty. Oh yeah. Very calm, very nonchalant there. Just side foots it into the left hand side of the goal. 2-1 to the Posh. So no debut for Connor, just purely because a lot of players are struggling for fitness. You know, only played 2 days before this against Bournemouth in the FA Cup. I'm going to knock that down to standard so we don't get taken on the counter attack. Coming into the last 5, the last couple, so 2 minutes of injury time, last 30 seconds. Kavanagh on this left-hand side, over to Gribbin. Gribbin tried to push it forward to Zhao in the middle, but didn't come off. But Pennington getting beaten by Graham there in the air, but Baldwin there to mop up. Pennington again, another good performance from him. And that's it. Peterborough United 2, Bristol City 1. Very squeaky goal, squeaky win there from us. Last hour or so of the transfer window. Let's see if anything happens. And that is it. The transfer window is shut. Finish, close. Another transfer window where we've kept hold of our top players. We've kept hold of Baldwin, Maddison, Leo, Jermaine Anderson. Kept hold of all of those, which is brilliant to see. No one coming in for them at all. The only person they came in for was Sean Kavanagh at left back, actually, to be fair. But I've resisted all kind of offers that people have come in for. So, January transfer window, we have signed Matthew Pennington at centre-back, George Moncur in the middle, Lee Evans on a free transfer in the middle, and Connor Washington on loan. And then we've sent out Leanne Goal, Guyan Edwards, Michael Boswick, James Wallace, and Shaquille Colhurst, all on loans. And some of them have got mandatory fees as well. So most of these loan players that we've got have got mandatory fees. So actually, at the end of the season, we should get a lot of revenue coming into the team. That's it for this bumper episode of 4 match highlights, transfer window news, and any other news that's popped up in the game as well. So that's it for this episode. As I said, we will be back for Leicester and QPR. That'll be our next game. So if only a few games from then. If you've enjoyed the episode, please do leave it a like on the thumbs up. Helps support the channel, support the video. Shows that you really continuing your interest on the series. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more content. And now I'm now uploading regularly, at least 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And all the videos are coming out around about 5:30. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Just see if you think my transfers are good, bad, indifferent, what you would have done differently as well. And until next time, when we play Leicester and QPR, I'll see you soon.